I'll start with a quick review for this book, The Quick Fix. Overall, I'm going to give this book 3 out of 5. I felt like this book is a little too long. There is not too many topics you go through, and there is a very long introduction to every topic that is not needed. I felt like it was too much. He's talking a little bit about too over, like why it's wrong, but also too much. But I do like what he points out, very important parts about fat psychology, about how some things, the media is causing some of those premature ideas to propagate. So it's a needed book, but the performance is not the best. But still, 3 out of 5. Let's see the notes. Media allows half-baked ideas to propagate. That's part of the media because they're looking for clicks, and that's how they incentivize scientists to find those ideas or to publish half-baked ideas as well. Research about self-esteem reducing crime turned out to be false and quite the opposite. Criminals often have higher self-esteem. It's used to promote self-esteem because it allegedly reduced crime, but they found out quite the opposite, that criminals actually have higher self-esteem. Some studies in psychology are done using data you have rather than the data you need. So that's the problem of many studies, is using the data you have rather than data you need. And you finish with a product that is not true or false. Third variable bias is a third variable that causes the effect. So there's the cause and effect. Sometimes you think it's A or B, but the third variable is bias is a third variable that can cause the effect. Not A or B. C. Power poses such as forcing a smile turned up to be false, as they were using p-hacking to find statistically significant results. So power posing, like forcing a smile, it's very known, like put a pencil in the mouth and smiling for a while, turned out to be false. And the main reason for that is that they used p-hacking, which is a statistical tool, to find statistically significant results. Positive psychology offers little help for individuals. CBT is often a better strategy. So positive psychology is a similar idea to power posing, is not effective. CBT is a much better strategy. Side note, the book is too long and the author goes on tangents and cites too many sources. So I would chop the book by a third at least. It goes on long tangents, introductions are long, not needed. Research supporting grit was misleading. A much better measure is conscientiousness. There is not much data to support the idea of grit. And that goes with the next one. Grit and conscientiousness are one of the same, and was simply used a different word in order to appear novel. So basically it's the same idea as conscientiousness. Grit and conscientiousness are very much alike. The reason the author used grit probably was to sound novel, because you can say, oh, conscientiousness is X and X, so she called it grit. Conscientiousness seemed to be not as malleable as other traits. So other traits are more subject to environmental effects, but conscientiousness is seen as less malleable than others. The IAT has very little reliability, as results often change from one attempt to another. That's like the implicit association test, I think. So it has very little reliability, and the main problem is that even with the same person, it's not reliable. They get different results every time. The replication crisis is part due to the fact that only successful studies are being published. So that's part of the problem with the replication crisis. So we don't hear about those failed ones. Only the successful ones are being published, and so that's cause. I think they also have a name for it. In something around drawer, the drawer bias, something like that. So everything that they just keep in the drawer, something similar to that. One way to tackle the replication crisis, is by publishing what the study is trying to find in advance. So by stating what you want to try, you're less likely to find things that don't fit the data, or less likely to fall for p-hacking and such. Next one is side note. Introductions are too long. As I said earlier, the introductions part, when he approached the topic, is too long. Next one is nudging is generally opt out rather than opt in. So it's just a description. What's nudging? It's a good way. He put it in a very good way. So it's opt out rather than opt in. So give you the idea to opt out, but the default is opt in. The last one, some of the benefits of nudging are being overblown. So the benefits, there is benefits. It does not dispute that there is some benefits, but some of the benefits are being overblown. So that's for the notes. Again, there's a lot of interesting ideas. I like the fact that he opens the topic and talks about all those areas that there is false information widely shared. So I like the fact that he wrote about it, but felt like it was a little long. It lost me in the little part, not because it was complicated. It was like too long, and you lost me. It's not interesting. So I think it could be shorter and more concise. But overall, 3 out of 5. Thank you.